Mary Creek on the west coast of Canada. Here gold prospector Paul Loescher wants to mine gold on a grand scale. But far and wide there's no sign of that happening. Was Paul's dream just a bubble that burst?
It's not that we stopped working here, it's the political decisions. You say, hey, with the equipment we have here, where can we go full belt? Where can we get really stuck in?
Not here, obviously. Flashback, August 2012. Paul has inherited 3,600 hectares of gold claims from his grandfather. Certain of success and with all the heavy equipment, he sets off on his search.
Every shovel of dirt you pick up here has got gold in it.
Geological reports and specialists forecast gold nuggets in this earth as big as the palm of your hand. Despite geophysical evidence of a primary gold deposit at Mary Creek, there is no rapid success. But Paul is not discouraged by the setbacks. After all, his claims lie in the richest gold region in the world, the Caribou District, about 8 hours' drive from Vancouver. Until 5 years ago, Paul was an investment manager. Then he inherited the gold claims from his grandfather. To mine the gold professionally, he borrowed several million euros.
I've no doubts about the gold in the mines where we're working. I'd just hang myself if I had any doubts. I'd hang myself. I really would, because I've put so much money in it. This isn't about trying or testing or doing it for fun.
Paul has to pay back about 45 million euros plus interest to the Canada Gold Trust Fund. But where are the workers and machines?
We just decided to carry on over there. You'll understand why. In fact, you'll see why. We're trying to find as much gold as we can in the shortest time possible.
By over there, Paul means another part of his gold claim. There, his experts say he can mine the gold faster.
Just look at this place. It really gets my heart beating faster.
Indeed. Looks like a real mining operation. And it certainly is. Special heavy trucks, big excavators and the very latest the mining industry has to offer. A 25-ton mobile derrick on tank tracks and a brand new giant washing machine. Paul's road to the riches is paved with high-tech. Since our last visit, he has spent another 7.5 million euros on this equipment.
What we've set up here hasn't been done since 1850. In fact, it's never been done before. It'll definitely go down in history.
Paul now has 33 employees in his claims. He needs about 37,000 euros a month just for the fuel for his machines. One thing is certain, no gold miner has ever put as much money in here as he has. But soon the investors will want their money back. But that doesn't worry Paul.
Basically, it's all mathematics. What costs what and what do you get out of it? And if the figures are reasonable, you start the project. And if they're not, you don't.
The reason for his great confidence is this hole in the center of his mine. Geological surveys again point to a gold channel.
It's called a glory hole.
Can a gold seam be located in a mud hole like this? Yes, it can. The gold migrated to the surface millions of years ago, from the center of the Earth through cracks in the Earth's crust. Today, these original cracks are called gold veins. The elements, ice ages and weathering carried away parts of the gold and washed it into streams and rivers, where, because of its weight, it was deposited together with debris and sand as placer gold. Many of these former waterways have now dried up and been buried. The gold sank down to the bedrock and now lies in the gold channel. Where the center of the gold seam lies is for this man to find out. Steve Kosis. He is one of North America's major placer gold experts and is now Paul's chief geologist. He uses a 1.2 million euro drill rig to get sediment out of the ground from depths of up to 70 meters. The gold content in the drill cores then provides clues as to exactly where the channel runs.
I've been here 30 years, experience in classical mining. There's not many geologists in Canada who just do this type of work.
It took Paul a year to finally get Steve on his team. for an annual salary of over 200,000 euros. Steve claims he can see from the behavior of the drill pipe while drilling whether the machine is currently drilling through a possible gold seam.
Whenever we hit some cobble or boulders, the pipe will actually go up and down, bouncing around. But when we're in the sand, it's kind of smooth.
Right now, Steve assumes the tower is drilling through a layer that could contain gold.
I think it'll be worth digging here. I'm confident.
As only an analysis of the soil samples will show whether that really is the case, the drill cores have to go to the laboratory. At the old mine, where Paul has put the work on hold for the time being, an external company was responsible for the test drilling and soil analysis. Only now are the results available. Is it worth continuing mining operations there?
The total amount of what's been explored so far is given as 2,500 kilos, 2.5 tons. That's $100 million. That's not bad.
Paul definitely wants to mine the gold in the old mine, but it'll be quicker to do so in the new mine at 8 Mile Lake, and that takes priority because the mine is expensive to run. And soon he has to pay back the first installment to the investors, 15 million euros plus interest. To check on the progress, the fund manager who lent him the money is traveling from Germany today. Paul shows us samples from the excavations, so far valued at a good 40,000 euros. Enough to reassure the fund manager?
You make a lot of money with this. But you also have to work hard for it.
Paul's company specializes in placer gold that has migrated through waterways. Gold nuggets that have been rounded by the elements can be sold individually for more money than if they were cast into bars.
No two nuggets look the same. That's just the way nature works. Each nugget therefore represents an individual piece of jewelry, and that doubles and triples the price.
Still, Paul doesn't want to sell the nuggets yet because the price of gold has fallen by about a third in the last year. Experts suspect that the US government is trying to keep the price of gold artificially low.
But that won't work for much longer. There's nothing to stop the prices rising.
Paul had to sell part of the gold despite the bad gold price in order to pay interest to the investors. In the meantime, that's a total of 55 million euros he has to pay back. To manage this, Paul wants to expand further. Next year, he already wants to operate a total of 5 gold mines. The managing director of Canada Gold Trust, Peter Prasch, has come all the way from Germany to have the next steps explained to him. He represents 2,400 investors.
The gold content where we're working is decisive because the fund has to be paid back. And that's why production has to begin.
For this, Paul has brought a new expert into the team. Mine planner Len Sinclair has already supervised one of Canada's most complicated gold projects. He is to help Paul find new mining areas and get the company into the black.
We want to be successful, choose the right properties to mine, and that's what we've done at 8 Mile Lake. We're producing gold there now. But you don't just put all your eggs in one basket. You got to be looking and keeping the company moving ahead to find the next gold mine, and the next mine and the next mine.
Until then, all hopes rest on the 8 Mile Lake mine. This washing machine is used to separate the glittering gold from the dirt. The goal, 900 grams of gold per day. Paul only goes here with his security chief Heinz Nebel.
There's a lot of gold around the big stones and on the big stones. It's washed off very accurately up here. The nuggets then fall down here and land in the so-called nugget trap. And the fine gold then gets caught down there in the noodle mats.
At least that's the theory. But are there really such big gold nuggets here?
So everybody here for the cleanup, please. Mark, you can shut the pump down.
Here, very special, unique. Come here and watch this. Oh, look at that, Heinz. Holy moly.
Holy moly.
The remaining nuggets are not particularly large, but even with the naked eye, Paul can see a great yield.
And this is lying around in the open. Normally it's in the material. Up here in the sand, you see it everywhere. Come on, Heinz, I'll give it to you, but don't pocket it. Fine, if you can see it, it's a particularly good sign.
Paul is satisfied, but are these nuggets enough to operate the mine?
With what I have here? For 30 seconds, perhaps. I don't know. We'll have to weigh it, and then we'll know. A mine is expensive. The fixed costs are somewhere between $300,000 and $500,000 a month.
For Paul, this means that he has to mine at least 10,000 euros worth of gold every day just to cover his fixed costs. Every evening, his employees rinse out the entire washing machine. Even the smallest particle is worth a lot of money.
Steve, that's what I picked up from on the top.
Nice. Okay, good.
What is it, 4 or 5 grams? What will that be?
Yeah, approximately. So that's good. What you picked up, there's probably a lot more buried.
Only Paul's closest colleagues do the rinsing. They work in absolute silence and with complete concentration. Closely scrutinized by security chief Heinz Nebel. He's the permanent watchdog sent in from Germany to check up on what happens on site for the investors.
That's how it is in this business. With gold, it's usually rather quiet. Everyone concentrates, everyone should be focused.
Even the smallest nuggets and even gold dust get stuck in the fabric mats on the washing machine. The more Paul finds, the closer he gets to the center of the gold channel. He wants to have found it before winter sets in, because several meters of snow and temperatures below -20 degrees will then make working on the mine impossible.
Time's limited. If you haven't made it by the end of October, middle of November, the season's over.
But even more important is whether the mine is paying off at all. To find that out, the daily yield from the washing machine goes to a special laboratory. Here, a kind of mini washing plant separates the gold from the rest of the sludge. The principle is the same as in the big washing machine. The heavy gold stays in the water better than the lighter sand. Special centrifuges can even filter out nuggets no more than a few millimeters in size.
Just in the last week and a half, we've been getting the larger pieces. That means we're getting closer to the actual pay channel and we're in a better amount of gold. So we're in the right spot is what it means.
But that's not all. Even the fine gold can now be washed out on site by Paul's men, thanks to this mechanical shaking table. Again, the mini nuggets are more sluggish in water than grains of sand, and the shaking can filter them out. But is the yield enough to pay for mining operations and interest to investors? That's what Canada Gold Trust Managing Director Peter Prasch wants to see for himself today. But today's yield doesn't look like much.
We know what the specific weight of gold is. A kilobar is not that big, so this here is quite a lot. But is it really enough to pay employees and investors? Has Paul finally reached the black? Is his mine profitable? The scale's too small. That's a good sign.
The only thing to do is divide up the gold, weigh it separately and add up the separate amounts.
We have 22 ounces.
Yeah,
or so.
22 to 25 ounces.
That's between 600 and 700 grams.
Okay, calculator.
Gold fluctuates.
So today's
The question remains of exactly how much the gold is worth.
31,135.
It's definitely a good haul, seeing as we're not even in the channel yet.
The daily yield is the equivalent of over 23,000 euros, more than enough to cover the fixed costs. This makes Paul confident that he will find the center of the gold channel very soon.